Escanaba is starting to wake up. It's daybreak. I'm live here in downtown Escanaba. The sun is rising. The UP State Fair has its roots in agricultural and industrial pursuits, but through the decades it has morphed into an all-out celebration of summer fun. And this year TV6 is co-hosting a hot tub singing contest. I will actually be selecting the lucky winner of a $12,500 hot tub provided by Master Spas of Northern Michigan. And the event tonight is co-hosted by TV6, Master Spas, and of course Island Resort and Casino. I played basketball in junior high, and I want to see if I still have of the event. And we have a lot more activities going on all throughout the weekend, straight through till Sunday. So if you haven't made it down here yet, be sure to come down. There's a lot to see and do. And the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band performs tonight at 8 in the grandstand, free with your admission. Live at the UP State Fair, Patti Mulligan, TV6 News. Back to you, Steve.
It is National Women Build Week for Habitat for Humanity, and this is the week designated to work on a home in Manistee. This is my new friend Thomas, and he's excited about the location move because he'll have a community room where he can walk around with all his friends and he won't be stuck in a cage all the time. Healthcare professionals are recognizing that individuals suffering from chronic pain can benefit from even a light massage, where manipulation of muscles goes a long way in relieving pain. Toddler years are defined as ages 1 through 3. It's a time when children can be picky eaters. So how do you know if your child is getting the proper nutrition?
What we recommend is when we offer foods, we have to give all different food groups and try to use a polite one-bite rule, saying, we have all different foods here, so make an attempt to at least eat one bite.
Involve the child in food shopping and preparation, like washing vegetables.
Try not to get into power struggle, try not to force the child, and try not to stress over it.
Give choices that don't matter, such as plate color. When they reach 1 year, children should switch from breast milk or formula to whole milk.
At 2 years of age, they are more used to the adult foods, and they are taking bigger portions.
According to the experts, must-haves in your toddler's diet are superfoods like blueberries. They make a great snack and are easy to take along in a small lunch bag. Foods to watch out for due to possible allergies are nuts, strawberries, and seafood.
Plain peanuts we don't recommend until they are 3 years of age because they are hard and there is choking hazard.
To make sure your child is eating enough, use the Center for Disease Control and Prevention's BMI chart, which gauges height-to-weight ratio based on age. Patti Mulligan, TV6 News, Escanaba.
My niece told me about it, and I was curious.
If you want facelift results without the pain or cost, a non-surgical facelift may be just for you. Performed with pre-made cloths, the treatment can help diminish fine lines, crow's feet, and wrinkles.
We're doing what we call a mini facelift. It's non-evasive. It's a cream-based cloth that we actually place on your face. It helps lift, rejuvenate, hydrate, reduces fine lines. It's an instant facelift.
Where do the cloths come from?
Actually, we purchased them from one of our wholesalers, but based in the United States, so it's made in the USA.
Let me show you the Wonder Mask, made up of over 30 natural botanicals that give you that rejuvenated, youthful look. Ingredients include aloe, chamomile, green tea, coned flower, ginseng, and olive seed oil. Homemade recipes can be found online, or you can visit your local spa for pampering treatment.
It feels smooth, it doesn't feel tight, and I'm very relaxed.
Unlike other treatments, there is no paralysis of muscles. The mask goes just below the brow bone, under the eyes, and almost reaches the hairline. It extends past the face to an inch below the jawline. Once-a-month treatment is recommended, or just once before a big day. In Escanaba, Patti Mulligan, TV6 News. When the temperature soars, so does the risk of heat exhaustion or stroke. Katie Pinar runs up to 35 miles per week.
Typically I stay cool I usually have a water bottle with me, and then the night before, if I know I'm going to run, I try to hydrate more at night.
But it's not that easy for everyone.
Actually, drinking water is a struggle, so it's something I actually have to push myself to do.
The elderly and the very young, such as babies and infants, are at the greatest risk of suffering heat exhaustion and heat stroke just because they have the hardest time controlling their temperatures.
How do you and your grandchild stay hydrated in this weather?
Well, we just have a lot. Grandchild has milk. He's on an all milk diet right now. But Larry and I just are real careful about carrying our water bottle.
What happens when the body is overheated?
Synapses, or the brain's electrical activity, slows down tremendously, and so that kind of takes its toll on everything that the brain controls.
To keep from getting dehydrated, the experts say a bottle of water is your best friend. Keep sipping throughout the day to avoid a potential disaster.
Heat exhaustion is where you're going to have the warning signs such as dizziness, fatigue, nausea, a fast heart rate.
Take shelter, don't stand for long periods, and don't lock your knees.
Locking your knees causes you to pass out, and it's more difficult for the body to pump blood back up to the brain.
Patti Mulligan, TV6
Governor Rick
News.
Snyder spoke to a packed house, and the crowd applauded as he took the stage and gave an informative presentation. And the audience had no shortage of questions.
Governor Rick Snyder visited the Upper Peninsula State Fair today for the annual Delta County Chamber of Commerce Governor's Luncheon. He addressed a crowd of about 400 people.
So I'm not here today to share a whole bunch of accomplishments.
The governor didn't share accomplishments. Rather, he fielded questions from area residents. One of the topics included investing in education. Not just funding education, but how money would actually translate into the classroom. Other questions involved Medicaid expansion, the Affordable Health Care Act, Great Lakes water levels, and road funding.
I come every August and I look for this luncheon as a key event because it's a great chance to get wonderful people together to talk about how Michigan's doing, and we're improving. Things are going better across the state and in the UP, but let's keep going. There's more work to be done.
Governor Snyder also told the crowd that he wakes up every morning with a sense of urgency. He said he operates in dog years, realizing that each day he will be governor one less day. The luncheon, sponsored by Michigan Works, the Job Force Board, the Daily Press, the Upper Peninsula Power Company, Great Lakes Timber Professionals, and the UP State Fair Authority, is always a sellout event.
After the presentation, some audience members took photo ops and shook hands with the governor, and then he was all set to tour the grounds and take in some of the attractions. Be sure to join us again on the 7 o'clock news, as we'll be here live again. Live in Escanaba at the UP State Fairgrounds, Patti Mulligan, TV6 News. Back to you, Steve.
Shackled and handcuffed, 46-year-old Susan Bardo and 47-year-old Carl Pellinen entered the Delta County Circuit Courtroom today. In two separate court appearances, Bardo and Pellinen entered guilty and no contest pleas for charges stemming from the sexual abuse and torture of Bardo's son.
The name of the first offense to which you are pleading is child abuse, first degree.
Susan Bardo pled guilty to first-degree child abuse and torture. Pellinen pled no contest to first-degree criminal sexual conduct and guilty to first-degree child abuse. The convicted felons now face a possible life sentence for their crimes against a minor. This is the home where both Susan Bardo and Carl Pellinen both admitted in open court that they confined, bound, and tortured the young boy. The child was kept locked away in an upstairs room of the home at 1525 North 20th Street in Escanaba. They also admitted he was tied and bound with duct tape to a chair for 2 to 3 months. At times, he was also sexually abused. The torture went on from 2007 until their arrest in April.
At some point, he stopped going to school several years ago.
Correct.
All of the offenses, the two pled to by each defendant, are life offenses. We in law enforcement are satisfied with the result, and we are relieved that the victim will not have to go through the proceedings.
Bardo will be sentenced on August 13th and Pellinen will be sentenced on August 19th. Patti Mulligan, TV6 News, Escanaba. 'Tis the season for boating, and now at the Gladstone Boat Marina, new piers and slips will allow more people to enjoy Little Bay de Noc.
We have been installing our new floating docking system. The original harbor was built over 30 years ago and did a really good job. However, it was time to replace them.
All of the new docks will be floating docks. They will rise and fall with water levels, which will make getting onto a boat easier. Other improvements are larger and more slips, with wider entry ramps that have a special purpose. Probably the most important addition at the Gladstone Marina is the installment of these new silver gangways, which will allow disabled persons to go down the pier and enter a boat. The total project will cost about $450,000. $225,000 comes from a grant from Michigan Waterways. $125,000 comes from the Downtown Development Authority, and $100,000 is expected from user fees.
Numerous people walk by all day long. It really is a focal point of our park.
Brian Hansen of Kalamazoo couldn't agree more.
I'm walking my dog, better lucky than smart, strikes again. I see them putting in the new docks. I go, oh, any docks available? Why, as a matter of fact, there are. I was going to put my boat in the water in Kalamazoo next week. That's going to change. Up here it comes.
So we're really turning our little jewel of the park into something that is not only going to be functionable, but very, very aesthetically pleasing.
Welcome to summer. Patti Mulligan, TV6 News, Gladstone.